Let's play Dune Imperium on Tabletop Simulator. This is a deck-building and worker placement game based on the Frank Herbert's novel and takes its style from the latest movies. I will be narrating a solo playthrough using the House Hagal rules and setting the difficulty level to Mentat. Additionally, I will churn the Imperium deck using 2 dice after each round. This will simulate players taking cards from the deck. This playthrough will be divided into 3 parts. I randomly selected the characters for my opponents and myself. I will be playing as Countess Ariana Throvald, while my opponents will be Baron Harkonnen and Duke Leto. After setting up the game, I draw 5 cards as my hand for the first round. The first conflict card of the game is Skirmish, and it will award a victory point to the winner of this round's conflict. The Baron is the first player and draws a card to take an action. He decides to send his agent to the Hall of Oratory. This gains him 1 troop to his garrison. The Duke draws a card next and sends his agent to visit the Spacing Guild at Foldspace location. This gains him an influence point on that guild's track. Now it's my turn. Looking at my hand, there are 2 cards I would like to play this turn. The Signet Ring card will activate my character's special ability, and the Diplomacy card will allow my agents to visit one of the factions. Since there is a point on the line at the end of this round, I decide to use my Diplomacy card first and send my agent to the Hardy Warriors spot. I place the 2 newly recruited troops to the conflict and decide to deploy 2 more from my garrison. I also gain a point in the Fremen influence track for visiting that spot. I also spend 1 water token for visiting the Freeman spot. The Baron sends its agent to conspire with the Emperor. This gains him 1 influence with the Emperor and 2 more troops to his garrison. The Duke sends his agent to Arakeen, allowing him to deploy 1 unit from his supply directly to the conflict and move in 2 more from his garrison. It also allows him to use his special ability, but since he has no spice, he can't use it. I will use my Signet Ring card to visit Carthag. I want to make sure I win the battle. The Duke is very close in strength. This will gain me 1 more troop, which I will place in the conflict zone. But I will not deploy my last garrison troop. I also gain an intrigue card for visiting the spot. I drew to the victor. This card will be perfect if I manage to win the conflict. The Signet Ring card activates my special ability, which gives me 1 water token. Having taken all the turns, I reveal my hand. I have 4 points of persuasion to spend. I decide to take the Guild Administrator for 2 and an Arrakis Liaison for another 2. I roll the 2 dice. I get a pair of 6. No card is removed from the offer. Now I tally up the troop strength of all the players. I have a total of 10 and the Duke has 6. I flip a card to modify the Duke's strength. Since it has no sword symbols, it adds nothing to his strength. I win first place and the Duke's second. This gives me a point. The Duke gets an intrigue card and 2 Solari. Since I won a conflict, I play my intrigue card that gives me 3 spice. Now I perform the cleanup to prepare for next turn. By mistake, I placed the 2 additional opponent agents underneath the second conflict card instead of the third. I will fix that before proceeding. The new conflict card will award an intrigue card and 3 spice to the victor of this round. The first player token passes on to Duke Leto. He sends his first agent to the Oratory Hall, adding 1 troop to his garrison. I draw 5 cards for this round, making sure to place the cards purchased in the previous round into the discard pile. My leader's ongoing ability will always reduce my collected spice by 1, so I don't want to miss the opportunity to gain some extra spice now that there is bonus tokens on the board. I use the Dune the Desert Planet card to move to the Haga Basin. I need to pay 1 water to do this. I collect the 3 spice, but consume 1 immediately to draw a card due to my leader's ability. The Baron moves to the Stillsuits location to gain favor with the Fremen by moving 1 spot in the track. Since this is a combat space, he deploys 2 troops into the conflict area from his garrison. The Duke also visits the Fremen, but he sends his agent to the Hardy Warriors spot. He gains 1 influence with the Fremen and 2 troops from his supply, which he deploys to the conflict area. Then he deploys 2 more troops from his garrison to gain the upper hand. I would like to use the Seek Allies card since it is a one-time use and provides no other benefit. But I think it will be better to visit the Sell Melange spot to get enough money to recruit our extra agent on the next round. I play the Dune the Desert Planet card to move to the sell spot. I sell 3 spice to gain 8 Solari. This is exactly the amount I will need to recruit my swordsman. I get a little carried away and grab my extra agent instead of the Solari. With his last agent, the Baron visits Carthag, allowing him to deploy a troop from supply and 2 more troops from his garrison to barely edge out the green player. I reveal my hand. The 2 sword symbols don't help me as I have no troops in the conflict. I have a total of 2 persuasion to purchase new cards. I decide to take another Arrakis Liaison card. I remove the 1st and 3rd card from the Imperium row and replenish the offer. The Baron has 10 strength and the Duke has 8. The Duke flips a card to modify his power first and gets 2 more added for a total of 10. The Baron does the same and gets 3 added, winning the conflict with 13. He gains an intrigue card and 3 spice. While the Duke gains 2 spice for coming in second. I clean up the board to prepare for the 3rd round. I draw my 5 cards for this round. When I flip the new conflict card, I reveal my opponent's extra agent, which I place in their play area. The conflict card will award an influence point and 2 intrigue cards to the victor of this round. I am the starting player for this round. The Imperial Basin has 2 bonus spice, since no one visited the spot last round. I will use my signet ring to move to the Imperial Basin and collect the extra spice. Again, per my faction ability, I must pay 1 of these to draw a card. The Baron uses his first turn to harvest spice as well. He moves to the Great Flat, collecting a whopping 5 spice. He spends these 5 spice and 2 more from his supply to gain a victory point. Now he is allowed to move 2 troops into the conflict. The Duke wants to stay in the fight and sends his agent to the Highliner spot. He moves up to the 2nd space in the Guild's influence track and gains 1 victory point. Then he drops 3 units from his supply into the conflict. On the last turn, I forgot to collect a water from the signet ring ability of my leader. It is now time to visit the Swordmaster location and recruit our extra agent. I use my Arrakis liaison to move there. I pay the required 8 Solari. Now I am in equal footing with my opponents in terms of actions per turn. The Baron moves to Carthag and deploys a troop to the conflict to equal the green player's strength. I mistakenly give the Baron an intrigue card for using the Carthag location, but Hagal opponents don't gain cards from this spot. Since the Baron already had 2 cards, he spends the 3 to gain a victory point. I am just making the game harder for me with this mistake. The Duke sends his agent to Arrakeen, also deploying a troop to the conflict area. He also gets to use his ringlet ability. He uses it to move up 1 step in the Emperor's influence track. He pays 1 spice to do this. Now I get to use my 3rd agent. I am thinking of either visiting the guild in the fold space spot using the administrator I acquired earlier. This will allow me to trash a card to thin my deck a bit. But I think it is a better idea to visit the Still Suits location and collect more water and a victory point. I use my diplomacy card to move there. I move up the Freeman influence track and gain a victory point. I also add 1 water token to my supply. The Baron is comfortable with his troop deployment in the conflict and sends his last agent to rally troops. This adds 4 troops to his garrison. The Duke also doesn't want to add more troops to the conflict and sends his agent to the Fold Space location to gain even more influence with the Guild. I reveal my hand to show I have a total of 4 persuasion available. I use it to purchase the Fremen Camp card. This card will allow me to add 3 troops for 2 spice in the future, which might come in handy. I remove the 1st and 3rd card from the offer and replace them to churn the deck. The Baron has 6 strength in the conflict zone, and the Duke has 8. I reveal a card for the Baron first, and he gets 4 added for a total of 10. The Duke gets 2 added, also for a total of 10. This is fortunate for me as they both will have to take the 2nd place price. The Baron gains an intrigue card to his supply. The Duke also gets this, but since he has 3 in total, he converts them into a victory point. All of the players are tied at 2 points each now. Both opponents also gain 1 spice. I will perform cleanup to prepare for the 4th turn. I will end the first part of the series here. As always, feel free to leave a comment to let me know what you think of this solo playthrough or the game in general. Hope to see you on the next one. Special thanks to Elevenlabs for providing this wonderful AI-generated narration voice. Check the link in the description for more information on their helpful tools.